Hello and a very good day to everyone. We are students from UHLB3132 section 45, and today we will be having a discussion on Xavier's decision to quit his corporate job and start a home-based baking business. So, we will be discussing on what he needs other than his passion alone in order to keep his business afloat. Before beginning, let me introduce the team members. My name is Harun Zamakini, and today we have Brina Brian Edmond, Lim Chin Ji, and also William Ho Zi Chan. So without further ado, let us begin. Basically, Xavier is bound to face a lot of issues before and after opening a new shop. So now let us discuss what are the main things that need to be considered before starting the bakery. Anyone have any ideas?
Um, so I could like to offer my first idea, I think. All right. So the first thing that come to my mind is he should consider the financial projections to the shops. Like a proper financial project is important as it gives us the general idea of how much the startup would cost and how long it should take to gain profit for the bakeries. So it's definitely an important things to take note, I think. And I think the second idea could be business offerings. So like before opening the shops, he needs to provide the business product, right? Like what he want to sell and like he will sell or how will it produce and do he need to get the required license to do so? Like Xavier couldn't want himself to become a illegal seller, right? So for example, if he need to survey whether his bakery shops need to have a business license or not. Because speaking from the experience, I when I was younger, I was trying to start a business online at Shopee. So, however, when I tried to start the business, I learned that even the online selling requires a require a business license to operate. So I think he need to take note of this too. Others, do you have any idea what to consider before starting the bakery?
Okay. Okay, so based on my opinion, the next thing that the seller should do is should do is he need to think about how to advertise his bakery because a shop without customers will not able to run smoothly. So he need to expose the shop to the outside world to gain the reputation and trust. He need to advertise his business via different ways so his business can get known by others mm, as your business is known by as many people as you can. The chance for your business to get success mm, is much higher. Yeah, yeah. So as so 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 is anyone would like to talk about the next thing?
Okay, so other than that, then I think the management plan and also the owner structure will be important as well. It's because like if Xavier can find another partner, then it can help him to lower the burden for the course, and also it can cooperate with him in order to do the business, and also I think that Xavier can also hire some workers so that he will not have to do all the work on his own, and like for the work such as the packaging and also the preparing the ingredients, baking, and delivery if possible. Yeah. So I think that it would be my point. So how about others? Do you have any other opinions?
I think no more from me.
Yeah, I think that the four points that you guys mentioned is covered most of the part already.
Okay, so I think like basically what mentioned by the Bernard and also William and also me just now are actually included in the business plan. And also, I think that the business plan will be the part and parcel in kicking off this home bakery business. And I think that let's dive deeper into this topic, maybe. So first, like since the Bernard mentioned about the financial projection, like do you have any opinions regarding the financial projection?
Yes. So, in my opinions, first he needs to survey the cost of the ingredients. Not only ingredients, maybe the equipment and related stuff to make a rough estimation to the cost that he needs to cover. So, with all the data, he can estimate how much the product he need to sell and how much profit he can gain from it. So, from these informations, he can knows that whether his shop is currently running smoothly or is he facing an obstacles. And if he thinks to grow his bakery shop, this information is high, I think is highly credible, as he can know, like he can plan. Maybe 5 years later, I can get X amount of money, so I can expand what part, and then grow his business. I think, yeah. So Saharu, what about you?
Talking about the financial projection, I think beside the point that you have said earlier, he also need to take into account about the working space. I think that startup capital is important. However, I believe that basically Xavier doesn't need or require a huge amount of startup capital to start a home bakery because in this case, he doesn't need a commercial space or store location because it is already defined as a home-based bakery. However, I think he might need to make some small renovation towards his kitchen space to accommodate to the bakery kitchen style. So he might also need to expand his kitchen a little bit. And other than that, home bakeries typically market their product online and deliver them through the mail. So he also need to consider the delivery cost, and if he did the delivery on his own, how much should he charge for the delivery service? So I think those are the points that he should take into consideration talking when we talk about the financial projection. Anyone else?
Yes, I think that I just agree with Brandon and Shaharu opinions that we have to consider the profit and the loss from all the aspects. And if Xavier is not clear about how to do the financial projection, he can also seek some professional advice if possible. Then so that he can develop a more efficient planning for the budgeting and also the cash flow or forecasting. So does everyone agree with that?
Yeah, I agree. Okay, so I think for the financial projection, we have the rough idea of what to do. All right. So moving on, I would like to mention that for Williams, right? He mentions that the bakery need to we need to advertise the bakery, right, to gain
Yeah.
popularity.
Yeah.
So in what way he can advertise it?
Okay, so based on my opinion, the first thing that he can do to advertise his business is by knowing the trend. Knowing the trend can help him a lot in in starting up his business. If you look at other fields like the fashion field, we can find out that the most successful product is always the product that follow the trend. Mm, for example, we look at the fashion field. Yeah, most of the clothes that they are successful are basically really designed based on a Squid Game, a very popular movie in 2021. So we can apply the same thing into the bakery too, selling the bread that the customer would like to buy instead of selling the bread that you want to sell. So what do you feel about this in here?
Yeah, sure. I do agree with you that to some extent that Xavier should follow the trend to run the bakery. But however, I won't think that following the trend would be the solution alone for Xavier to run the bakery in the long run. So I think that Xavier can actually add some specialty to his to the trending backwood. So rather than merely following the trends nowadays. So it can actually be the selling point for him to stand out from the crowd. And also for instance like since like nowadays people are more focusing on health, then I think that Xavier can actually promote some baked goods that the customer will like, such as the low sugar and also the low carb desserts that will not be very common in outside. Do you think that is right?
Yeah, I believe that was a brilliant suggestion that Shinji mentioned earlier. These big products will definitely stand out amid the competition. But then I also believe that maintaining the customer satisfaction with a consistent quality of the product is very wise, because every customers may want to try something new every now and then. But then consistently assured quality of the product will always make sure that the customer come back to our shop. So if Xavier want to experiment with recipes and selling various batches of baked products under the same brand that he is currently doing, it is almost certain it can harm the business. However, if he must experiment on the recipes, he need to make sure that any changes that he made from the standard product are properly labeled. He may, for example, like promote a cookie with a different frosting than he generally use for as a seasonal treat. So it's like having Valentine cookies, special frosting during Valentine season. So it only available during Valentine. So I think that was some of the way that he can use to make sure that he can provide a consistently quality product to his customer. Yeah.
All right, thank you. Okay, thank you, William, for the idea of knowing the trend and trying to follow it to maximize the company exposure. The Xinjie idea is also a great idea, I think, since it adding the trending item with a specialty definitely put a great finishing touch. However, my opinion is somewhere different from both of you actually. So as it is a newly created business, if if they just blindly follow the trending stuff like what you said just now, they are more promptly to get overshadowed by the existing competitor since they already run for a longer times, right? So I could prefer if Xavier just focus on his bread, like his standard bread consistently, and keep on improving the quality to gain some regular first. After some regular has been gained, the popularity will also increase like gradually, right? So after the popularity is increased, he then can proceed to make some innovations like what Saru said just now to gain more, So for starter, I still believe that he needs to lay down his foundation first by making his bread more consistency and quality and make sure the quality is perfect. So anyhow, is there maybe other way to boost the marketing strategy instead of like following the trend and and, and like to boost the marketing strategy in terms of other things other than the product itself?
Yeah. So marketing. I can say that marketing is deeply significant to a business success. So definitely Xavier will need a solid marketing strategy. He may utilize some social media platform like the Facebook page or Instagram account to promote his business. Or he can also create a personal website for his company. He can also perform some offline marketing, but still, how far does offline marketing will bring him through his business? So maybe it's not that far. So what do you think about this, Shinji?
Okay, so from my point of view, I think that definitely online marketing will work better than offline marketing. So it's because that Xavier is doing a home bakery business, so it will be like more a bit difficult for him to do the offline marketing. So I think that he can put his focus on the social online platform to do the marketing, so that the more people will get to know his shop and also gain the popularity online. So also other than that, the Xavier can also create some good videos online For example, he can make a good shot for the featured products, and also like make the video to become more attractive and put it on TikTok. I think that like but there will be more people to get to know Xavier shop, and also be interested in buying the bad goods from him. So as a result, I think that Xavier should put some money aside in order for him to do the marketing. As I think rather than creating the good videos online, then Xavier should also do some paid marketing, because because nowadays like there are too many videos online, so not everyone will look at the videos. So I think that do the paid marketing will enable Xavier videos to be viewed by more people. So anyone else have anything to share regarding the marketing issue?
I could like to add some more marketing tips, I think. So since Xavier has just started the bakery shops, right? His friends, his families will bound to know about the shop as well. So maybe we can have a systems that like the Xavier can have them to advertise to their surrounding friends, and maybe if they bring a mutual friends to the shops, they can get voucher systems like that. I think it could be a great idea since it is a way to make your shops more widely to the world from your surrounding place, right? Yeah. So I think that's all from my part. And I think we discussed a lot about the marketing strategies. Should we should we move to the next sections?
Yeah, I think so. Okay, so okay, so the parent pay. Okay, so okay, the suggestion from the parent is actually good. Okay, what different approach lead to the different outcomes. It's a job for server to choose how he should run his own bakery. So let's proceed to the next session. How should Xavier plan his management plan, and what is his possible challenge?
Yes. So how should Xavier plan his management plan and his possible challenge, right? Mm, I have an idea for it. So I have an idea for the challenge he might face actually. So for the management plan, Xavier might overhire or less hire the workers. If you plan to hire, of course. As he is a newly created business, he might not have the experience and tends to overhire or less hired, I think, the workers. And the challenge actually come from when he overhired the workers. If the Xavier did not predict the shop overload correctly, it might become a big issue since the worker can just lay back there and do nothing, contribute nothing to the shop, and still get paid for it. And then it will hinder the shop's growth. Like you need to pay extra money but contribute nothing to the shops. Contradictory, if you less hired, sorry, hired less workers, the workers and him will be too busy. Like they need to handle multiple jobs. This one to back, after back you need to send and packaging all of the stuff lah. If they need to handle multiple tasks, right? So it will hinder them from doing other works like advertising in the Facebook, like you said just now, Sinje, and make the videos since they're just busy with baking. So uh, as a long run, as this thing will keep going, the this will lead to the shops being unable to grow in a good way. So it is one. So for me, it is one of the possible challenge for his management plan. How about others?
Okay, so I think that the another challenge that I can think of maybe is the choice of the suppliers. Like because since they will definitely needs the suppliers to for like for the ingredients, and also the packaging. So if he cannot choose the supplier wisely, and the supplier will suddenly like increase the price as he wished to, then I think definitely that Xavier will have a lot of trouble, since like if the cost of the packaging and also the ingredient increase, then this will result in the higher cost of the product too, because like Xavier will need the profit, right? He cannot do the business just for the patient. So I think that the Xavier must be wise in choosing the supplier. Yeah, so I think that's all from me. So what do you think about the other challenge?
From what both of you have said, I can like share a solution. It's not like a solution. It's basically for Xavier himself. If Xavier think that he lacks the professional qualification to do so, like to do the business plan, he could seek a counsel from a business consultant basically. So the business consultant can help him to develop a feasible business plan, and some of the advices that he could ask from the consultant is like how to run the business, how to advertise it, how to hire, like so that there won't be any cases like overhired or less underhired. So, and most crucially, I think that how to manage the finances, because finance is the key thing that will keep the business afloat, I think. So I think in this case, it is best for Xavier to ask for a professional opinion on this matter. Yeah. So I think that is my idea regarding the issue. Yeah.
I'm partially agree with you here, Harul. So I agreed that he should seek counsel from a business consultant. However, for me, Xavier doesn't need to ask for people who are in the industry. Like he does not need to, since he is in the bakery industry, right? He does not need to ask the specific industry, like the specific bakery industry. Maybe his family or friends or cousins, anyone that have experience in opening a shops, he can just ask them. So he can learn from whoever opened a business on his or her own, and from that he can gain some insight how to manage the business properly. So we can use the money that you spend on the professional opinions to the other place. I think that's from my sides. Yeah. How about others?
Okay. Okay, so okay, so next I want to talk about common problems with the workers might make a wrong order from customers, and this will cause the customer to receive the wrong product. As a customer receive the wrong product, it will cause the shelf rating to become bad as it does not achieve what the customer is expecting. So as a shelf rating become bad, it will not able to attract the new customers. So I think to overcome this issue, the server can double check the orders to to avoid misreading the order. But if the order is too much for server to double check it, he can make a promise to his customer which they can get a refund or some extra stuff if they receive the wrong product. And besides this problem, I think the server will also face the working area problem. The working area for him to start his home-based bakery might not be enough for him to produce too much product. I'm assuming he's living in a single room house or apartment, so I don't think he will have too much space for the bakery as the space is limited. The tools that need to be done need to be prepared at the bakery are usually like the oven. I think the best he can do is to avoid making too much product at one time because as you know, it will take up a lot of space and his working environment that does not allow that. So besides this problem, does anyone have another thought on the on the problem?
For me, no.
Shinji, would you like to add anything?
So I think that beside what talked by William just now, I think that it will be quite a normal situation like for Xavier to encounter it that there may be like some the customer with the bad attitude, but be but to how to say but to be more serious than that, the Xavier may meet some customer who just place their order and maybe with large amount and just cancel the order, and also there may be some customer like who are just sit for fun and just place the order and also use the invalid phone number to do that, and afterwards the Xavier cannot find the customer at all. So I think that to avoid this kind of situations, so it's a must for Xavier to get the deposit from the customer after they place their order, or either the Xavier should say to the customer that you should pay all the payment so that we will proceed to do the order for you. So I think basically that's all for me. So we have discussed about the possible issue that may be faced by Xavier when running the bakery. So now how about we discuss the responsibility that the Xavier should be carrying for this shop. So what do you expect the responsibility for Xavier and also like the possible hire workers?
Yeah, so I would expect Sabel to manage the finance of the shop since he's doing the bakery. So so it's not wise for him to leave it to the high workers since he did not build a trust between them yet. The workers should not be given such a high authority in the beginning as it may cause harm to the shop. Yeah. So so that's all for me. To anyone else?
Basically, I agree with what William said. So I also would like to add that if Xavier feels like he wants to hire workers, it is best for him like to not hire the workers permanently immediately direct after the interview. He could like put the new hires on a probation period, normally like 3 months. What the other business owner always do, and during those probation period, he can make sure that the workers are really trustworthy and want to work with him and also have the capability to learn so that later he can delegate the task in a way that he wouldn't be making himself having a lot of trouble in the future. So for starters, like he can delegate the workers to only in charge of preparing the ingredients and packaging the product, the task that doesn't require a very specific knowledge. So like in general tasks that most people can do. So yeah, that was it. My opinion regarding the topic.
All right. So to add on your idea as well, so I think that to ease up the Xavier's burden for the first few workers, I think he can set the hiring standard higher. Like it is best for the Xavier to hire the employees who have formal training before or have past experience in bakery before. This way, the responsibility for Xavier can be eased up since the employees are able to oversee those those employees who have no experience in the bakery that the Xavier want to hire later on. So I think yeah, that's my idea lah. Anyone who want to add on, or should we move?
Okay, I would like to I think like based on what Shahru and also Brandon talked just now, I think that we can also uh like if Xavier already runs the bakery in like in the longer time, so in the future like maybe Xavier can also hire the trainer, like he can have the more workers, and also like the workers can also train the trainers, and also it will help Xavier is the bakery business, I think. So I think that's all for me.
All right. So everyone has present their opinions, right, about the delegation of responsibility. So I think we can move on to the contingency plan. I think, like, if Xavier's bakery's business face some issues, in your opinion, what what unexpected things that could have happened to him, to the shop, and what can he do to minimize the damage of the events?
Okay, so I'd like to talk about this. So since like we are in the COVID-19 pandemic, so I think that actually there is there's some possibility that maybe the hire worker or even Xavier himself will be tested positive with COVID-19. So I think that Xavier should do his best to minimize the loss. Like for instance, rather than talk about the minimize the loss, like there are some steps that the Xavier should take. So first, the Xavier of course should let the positive employee or himself to be self isolate at home and also under the quarantine. But most importantly, the Xavier should put a notice on the social online platform for the customer to know that, and also Xavier and uh, and also other than that, Xavier should um okay, so Xavier should like let the customer to know that the responsible department have undergo the sterilization at the home, so that it will reduce it will not let the customer to be afraid to purchase the bad good from him. So I think that's how he can minimize the loss. And also I think that in the long run prevention is surely better than the cure. So Xavier should always practice like the good some good practice at the home place, like to maintain the good hygiene, and also to practice the physical distancing and work. And also Xavier should like put it as the proof on the social media platform for customer to be able to buy the best good with him without worrying. So I think that's all from me. How about the others?
Okay, so next I would like to talk about the issue about the inventory. The pro the product that Saru received may be delayed in arriving at the store due to the transportation problem, or may have a large quantities of the damaged product due to the outside issue. So I think someone can overcome this by contacting the local grocery store and warehouse food store to inquire about how much of each ingredient that he can purchase from them today. But I don't think this solution will always work because other store may also have a same problem like him. So what's your thought about another issues, Saru?
For me, in general, I think like every business focus on this point, which is the security issue, which is more often we talk like about the robbery or the theft. This can happen on the inventory, the cash, and also some of the expensive equipment that can be stolen by the robbers. So this will result in a very huge loss for Xavier if this robbery or uh, theft occur to his business. So in order for him like to overcome this business, like or to prevent the business or to recover from this problem, he could install the security system like an alarm that can be triggered and send the signal to the nearest police station so that if anything happen, the police can immediately come to the store or his home. Other than that, he can also install the security cameras, or people normally call it the CCTV, so that it will store the footage of the robbers or the thief that broke to his business. So it is recognize the thief and to find the thief if we have the facial recognition of the thief. Lastly, I think that he should also did some training on himself and also maybe some of his staff if he decided to employ. If a robbery occur, they need to know how to behave during the robbery. They need to stay calm and what can they do to take advantage of the situation to overcome the problem. So I think that was it for me. Yeah, for the security part.
Okay. After hearing from all of you, I suddenly think that remember that I said earlier about the management plan. To ease up the Xavier burden, we can hire employees who have formal training and bakery experience, right? So I I suddenly think that if that particular employees um, decide to leave with no notice, so basically the shop has a unplanned departure of a key staff members. It's definitely an issues for me, I think, and it should need contingency plans for it. So what I can suggest for the solutions is since we have only rely on the one highly skilled staff, right? So maybe we can have a across multiple how to say we can ensure our employees know um, they know and have been trained in a variety of areas like the employees some that make Doge can learn some other things and others as well. It means that they try to learn all of the things in the shops. By doing so, mm, like in the long run, they can get back they can back sorry they can get the bakery back into the actions since everyone's know all of the roles that he should be doing, and if one of the member is absent, he can maybe helps the members to fill in their gaps. Yeah, that's what I that's what I think.
Okay, so I think that was it. That basically we cover a lot of situation or scenario for the contingency plan in case anything happen. Surely there are also some other scenario that could happen, but we nearly run out of time. So we need, basically now we have come to the end of our discussion, and I would like to invite us, you all, to let us recap what we have discussed so far. So basically, we have talked about what to consider before starting the bakery, the financial management, the advertisement of the bakery, business management plan, and also some contingency plans for a few scenarios that might happen to the business. So I think we have discussed a lot. I would like to thank you all for making this such a fruitful discussion. And I think that was it for today. Thank you once again. Goodbye and have a nice day, everyone. So that was it from us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.